already kicked off 2023 with new Macs and a new HomePod. They released the M2 and M2 Pro Mac Minis, the M2 Pro and M2 Max 14-inch and 16-inch MacBook Pros, and the second generation HomePod. But of course, there's still more to come. In today's video, we're going to talk about what's expected in the spring of 2023. Don't forget that the spring goes from March till June, so we could be talking about a spring event, the WWDC, and more or less 3 new products. But before I get started with the video, don't forget to give me a thumbs up if you enjoy Apple content and subscribe to the channel if you haven't subscribed yet. Okay, starting off, a new Mac Pro with Apple Silicon. Don't forget that released in 2019, this is the only remaining Mac powered by Intel on Apple's website. It is definitely time for an upgrade. According to Mark Gurman, the new Mac Pro could be powered by the M2 Ultra chip that, of course, will bring incredible performance to the Mac Pro, and this may be the fastest Mac ever. Gurman believes that it will have the same design as the 2019 version. However, users will not have the ability to upgrade RAM. He said, in another disappointment, the new Mac Pro will look identical to the 2019 model. It will also lack one key feature from the Intel version, user upgradable RAM. That's because the memory is tied directly to the M2 Ultra's motherboard. Still, there are 2 SSD storage slots and spaces for graphics, media, and networking cards. Also, if you were hoping to see a higher-end version of the Mac Pro, it looks like it has been canceled. That version was rumored to be powered by the M2 Extreme chip, which, according to Gurman, was canceled due to cost and manufacturing complexities. So the Mac Pro may be powered by the M2 Ultra, and this may be the only version available. Now let's talk about the second product, the long-rumored AR/VR headset. According to Ming-Chi Kuo, Apple was previously planning on announcing the headset in January. This, of course, did not happen, and it looks like they're planning on announcing it in the upcoming months or at the WWDC. This makes total sense because the Worldwide Developers Conference is focused in software, so it is the perfect time for the company to showcase the new product and the new operating system. This will give time for developers to develop applications for it, and then by the time that it is finalized and then released, the users will have more applications available. Now, I do have other videos here on the channel talking about the headset in more detail, so make sure to watch them as well in case you haven't seen them yet. But we have a new report from The Information in which they listed a lot of features that may be available in the headset, including 4K micro LED lenses, more than 12 cameras, M2 and H2 chips, advanced eye and hand tracking, a digital crown to transition between view modes, and a lot more. So that's product number 2, and now let's talk about the 15-inch MacBook Air. I've mentioned this before, and the MacBook Air does have my heart. I purchased my first MacBook Air in 2010. Then I used the MacBook Pro for a little bit and then switched back to the MacBook Air when Apple released the M2 version in 2020. Currently, I own the M1 iMac, but I am planning on purchasing a new MacBook fairly soon. So if this 15-inch MacBook Air is actually released, it will probably be my next computer. I do have another video here on the channel talking about the M2 MacBook Air, and it simply looks amazing. I love the new design, the new midnight color, the new display, and if it becomes available in the 15-inch size, it's simply perfection. But let's talk about what to expect in more detail. According to Ross Young, Apple is planning on releasing the 15-inch MacBook Air in early April. Keep in mind that he is a display industry analyst, and he said that the production of the display is now underway, but Apple's announcement and pre-orders could happen sooner. A spring event is common, so Apple may be planning an event in order to release this MacBook. Now, talking about specs, it is expected for this MacBook Air to be powered by the M2 chip. And it may feature the same design and same display, same specs overall if compared to the 13-inch version. However, Apple is also rumored to update the current 13-inch MacBook Air with the 3nm based M3 processor in 2023. Of course, this new processor will bring better performance and power efficiency to the Macs. I'm definitely looking forward to that. So there has been a lot of debate whether or not Apple will keep the M2 or update this rumored 15-inch MacBook Air with the M3. TSMC did recently start the mass production of 3nm chips, so this information goes side by side with the MacBook Air powered by the M3 chip news. Also, according to DigiTimes, the new MacBook Air with 3nm M3 chip is rumored to launch in the second half of 2023. And I simply believe that things are getting more and more confusing because, in my opinion, it doesn't make a lot of sense for Apple to release a 15-inch version powered by the M2 chip and then, still in 2023, but towards the end of the year, update the 13-inch version with M3. Also, don't forget that Apple just released the M2 Mac Mini, so it doesn't really make sense. I believe that what makes most sense would be to release the 15-inch MacBook Air powered by the M2 processor and then next year update both computers with the M3. But let me know what you think down below in the comments and if you agree with me or not, because I know that this M2 and M3 chip conversation can be really confusing. But let's talk iPhones, because Apple usually launches a new iPhone color in the spring, and they could definitely continue with the tradition in 2023. In 2022, Apple released the Alpine Green iPhones 13 Pro and Pro Max and the green iPhones 13 and 13 Mini. In 2021, Apple released the purple iPhones 12 and 12 Mini. So let's see what Apple has in mind for 2023. Which color would you like to see for the iPhones 14 and 14 Pro? And these are the products expected for the spring of 2023. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to give me a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel if you haven't subscribed yet. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.